Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. We're back on the free-to-play challenge account. Um, Pretty excited about some events that are coming up in the game. So we're going to talk strategy, we're going to talk about progress right now. So first things first, want to update you guys on the missions. We are now on this mission, and I am currently working hard to complete this mission. Now, I have mentioned in the past that I'm kind of not in the way I usually like to do Minotaur, and I know there's different opinions on this strategy, but I like to do one champion and Minotaur at a time. I usually have a team of 4 people, right? And then I just throw in the one guy that I want, and we farm them up that way. That is not how other people do it. I understand that. This is just the way I do it. We don't need to debate it in the comments about what is more efficient or not. That being said, right now I'm kind of in this weird spot. Kayle has full masteries. We paid for those with 800 gems. I've then only put the 3 of them on stage 14 of Minotaur, and am basically simultaneously getting them masteries. So you can see Ugo is now into the 3rd and 4th tier, and Alice is into the 3rd and soon to be 4th tier. Now, the mission that we have unlock 2 tier 4 masteries per 2 champions. So in the case of Ugo, we are close, because with Ugo, I've unlocked 1, and we just need to get to another one of these ones, essentially. That, or get to one of these here. I gotta remember the build that I'm going. Because I knew that I wanted... I'm just trying to remember, kind of... yeah, I tend to get like a rough outline. I know... I don't really care for Evil Eye that much. I think I'll go Cycle of Magic. That's a personal preference. Definitely the 2 in the damage tree here. But essentially, we're just going to keep grinding until I can get this. And between Kayle and Ugo, that should complete the mission, and then I can move on. So right now, that's where I'm spending my energy. I am over energy cap right now. I just interrupted my farming to record this video. We got a big influx of energy. We did a promo code thing, so there is an Alice website that you can go put in your information, and it'll pump out a promo code. This one I hadn't used yet, so I put that promo code in, and that got us a big chunk of energy, so I'm playing catch up on that. You'll notice my gem count is way down from our previous video. I have been grinding food today. The main reason for that was... it was related to something, but I don't remember. I think I was just bored and really wanted to play this account, and so I just started spending gems, grinding. Oh, I remember why now. Sorry. My level. So Tuesday, Siege unlocks. Now, Lumi, who is a content creator, if they're in the clan, they're a content creator. I've seen them in my comments. I've seen them, I think, in my live stream too. Let me see if I can find where Lumi is. I'm sorry, Lumi. Hey, go ahead, Lumi. If you put your YouTube in a comment, I'll pin it on the video so that people can find you. But Lumi is in my clan, and Lumi has hit 45 and could see Siege. And what Siege was telling him, or her, them, was that we only needed to place 15 defenses in order to compete in Siege. However, the website says that at least 15 members of the clan need to be 45. And if we do a quick look at the clan, I don't believe we're going to hit that by Tuesday. We have not that many people who are close to or currently at 45. So, now, this is unknown for sure. What's truer, right? And you guys are going to hit us in the comments. Again, he's seeing something like in the game that's saying if you place 15 defenses, you can compete. And the website is saying 15. So 15 members total to 45. So we don't really know what the truth is. I lean towards the more restrictive is what I expect, but they changed a lot. And I wanted to point out too that the website, and I should just pull it up here. In fact, I will. Yeah, Siege. Okay. So this is also out of date, right? Because the rewards, these are not the correct rewards anymore. 5-star mythical gear is not what you get for tier 5 anymore. They basically changed this all to be, I think it's like 1 piece of gear, 2 piece of gear, 3 piece of gear, 4 piece, you know, like, and then it goes up. So something like that. I know they changed it, right? So this is not correct. And so there's really no way of knowing what is correct because that's an old website that I'm using anyways. So we'll find out on Tuesday. However, I was pushing to hit 45. The main reason for that push was so I could participate in Siege if we can do it. So I'm going to keep doing that. I have until basically tomorrow night. But I don't really know what the real answer is. So we'll find out Tuesday if we can do Siege or not. If we can't, it happens. It's fine. But I wanted to give us at least a fair shot. So that was why I spent all of my gems grinding up food. Now I am pretty close to my next 6-star. I have 4 5-star food ready to go for Ugo here. I'm leaning towards Ugo, by the way, for a couple of different reasons. The main one being that Ugo is fully booked, right? So I figure, like, if I was to Tagore, I really want a 6. Well, okay, we'll talk about Tagore in a second. Tagore makes the most sense to me to be the next 6-star because of this increased speed, and I really want increased speed. I get more turns, right? It's just better. Speed is such a must in this game, in my opinion, and that will prove to be very important, I think. Plus, the heal is pretty strong with the books in it. Further getting that HP up for Tagore, getting them in better gear so that they're... I mean, I think he's pretty slow right now on my account, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 139 speed. That won't cut it, right? We could get him faster. Crank that HP up. I mean, I've gotten some better gear now, so I don't know about speed boots. I might still be hurting for those. Yeah, these are my only speed boots on the account right now, but... these at least have HP percent and defense percent. So these would be better to roll up and then find it. We have them in an HP percent chest, get some better HP percent gloves, you know, try and find maybe some speed gear here. In fact, like, what do we have with substats of speed? HP percent and speed. Yeah, both of them. I mean, this is a good piece for him. I'm sure then we can probably find another, you know, probably... I'd like for that to have speed on it, but... I mean, we'll take a look. Hopefully we can find some way to get more speed on him. There is also always the pinpoint gear. So if we look at substat speed... What about speed and... nope, not that. HP percent. Those are pretty interesting, actually. But the pinpoint gear could show promise. I mean, speed and defense is interesting. I mean, it's flat HP and speed there. But we'll I mean, obviously we'll get to work on it. But yeah, if we can get some extra speed on them, we've got pretty good equipment here, right? We've got good pinpoint gear to get an additional 10% speed. We put this ring on. It's a defense ring, HP percent substat. I'm fine with that on him. Obviously, HP is preferred, but, you know, we take what we can get. I think speed is really good there in this particular case. The revenge set is actually kind of interesting, but unfortunately, he would just keep reapplying this to the same target, I feel like, so I don't think it's as good. And as you may have saw when we were in the tavern, we do have a few books right now. So we actually could put some books on Tagore. Are we still under a champion training tournament? Because if we are, I will use those books. We are for another 4 hours. So I did max that out, and I'm actually in first place in the tournament right now. There really is no point in me using those books right this second, I suppose, because I am going to win this tournament, so we're going to get that 6-star gear regardless. I don't know. I'll probably try to book him out, because if I can book, in fact, let's just do it. Let's see it. If we can get this down to a 3-turn cooldown, I think he's my next 6-star. I didn't see what it did. No, not the A1. That's not preferred. Yes! Alright, so that's on a 3-turn cooldown now, and that's a big heal. And what that kind of enables us to do a little bit, with that being on that 3-turn cooldown, that allows us to change up our clan boss a little bit. So right now, my biggest heal is actually this 4-turn heal. And I want to make sure... This is always how I can make sure that I'm interpreting that right. Because, yeah, so 6 books down to a 4. So we're using right now a 4-turn cooldown as our primary heal in Clan Boss from Ugo here. And I mean, it's a pretty big heal. Like, I really love the healing that comes out of it. But Tagore's is now a 3-turn heal with an increased speed. And I think he's at 33,000. And Ugo is at 36,000. So we can obviously build him up. This is not the best of gear. We can certainly improve his gear. Probably take... Actually, I'm going to take the gear off of Taragi right now. Because, like, these boots are amazing. And then I bet you... Maybe not the gauntlets here, but... Probably the shield because of the defense and the speed there. So now, and then that's going to give us a big boost to HP and defense for him. And it's going to be even more relevant for Tagore because he's going to have that higher base HP being a 6-star. So Tagore is on the short list to become my next 6-star. Mostly because the books hit right, and I don't think I need to book anything else there. There is an argument to be had that booking this would be good, right? To book this down to, I think it would go to a 5-turn. Let me see here. Yes. I actually don't think I would go and book that. The reason being that if you get to the point where you're reviving your team, you're really only buying one more turn probably anyways. So, you know, I don't think there's going to come a time, whether it's a 5-turn cooldown or a 6-turn cooldown. And I'm talking Clan Boss. If I'm reviving them, they're probably dying again, like immediately after they take their next turn. So then, you know, the likelihood that the team as a whole is going to last another 5 or 6 turns on Clan Boss is very low. And then in other areas like dungeons and stuff like that, there is the possibility that maybe the team can survive and we can revive somebody to be more effective. But reality is that it's all like Kayle just keeps himself alive at this point. So I'm really just looking for that 3-turn cooldown speed. I did have some consideration for Dawncaller Sabbatha, and I'm sure that a lot of you are screaming at me right now and saying like, oh no, you got to do Dawncaller. She's so good. She's so good. Totally agree. I do agree that Dawncaller is very, very good, right? We have the heal here. And this is a good heal. It's 10% of this champion's max HP, which, you know, could be a pretty significant heal, of course. Then you have the increased defense and increased attack. So you're increasing the damage of Alice and Kayle, who are my damage dealers right now. And you're giving us increased defense, which is defense is the best way to survive against clan boss. Then you have a single target revive, but it's full turn meter, so they're going to get an instant turn, and that goes down to a 4-turn cooldown, which we've just seen is better than Tagor's revive, right? I don't think that this passive really does a lot unless you're deliberately running someone that's going to die. But I guess this is already going to be a 3-turn cooldown, so I guess I don't really understand why you would want to reduce the cooldown of this when you already did by using this ability, right? So, I mean, again, I'm not hating on Dawncaller Sabbath. I think she's great. And I do think the increased defense and increased attack is very, very valuable. I personally prefer the increased speed, especially when we have a team that's so tanky and kind of healery. So we're going to be able to keep our damage dealer's health up anyways. And so I don't know that what does the increased defense give us one more turn on clan boss? Yeah, maybe. Does the increased attack, what does that equate to damage wise versus increased speed where they're taking an entire extra turn? So I don't know. I truly don't know. I think that there is if I had the capability to test with that, I mean, I guess I do technically, I can just crash the game, but it is something I would love to test. But the reality is I think that the speed comes in more handy for me in many different areas of the game. So that's the one I'm leaning towards, and I could be wrong. Nothing wrong with that. It's just how I feel like I want to go. I also do like this damage reduction, especially for fights like Ice Golem where we take a lot of damage and we get down to 50%. This can come in pretty handy in my opinion to kind of maybe keeping some of the weaker champions alive. So anyways, Tagore is on the short list, but why the short list? Why not just say you're doing Tagore? Because the event that I'm super excited about is here. If you've been watching my channel for any sort of time, you'll know that I love this event. Now, is this a whale event? Absolutely it is. But for free-to-play players, this event usually is quite a bit of fun because we are basically getting the equivalent of a prism or of a sacred shard for relatively minimal effort that would benefit the account anyways. I have done a lot of free-to-play accounts, some recently, and when I do them, I typically tend to do this tournament right here, which is the Sand Devil Turn Attack Tournament. And that will usually, unless they're going to try and jip us again, give us at least one pull in the Prism Shards, right? So if we're just looking at these epics, I'm happy. I don't really care for Kytus or Fodbor. Every other epic on here, I would be happy with. You have... Now, we talked about him recently on the channel. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of his kit. However, poison sensitivity with extra poisons and activation, which is pretty needed for the amount of poisons that are on my team. He would be an instant replacement for Alice on the Clan Boss team because I think he's just going to scale better and do more damage with his poisons than Alice can do as the defenses get higher. I'm mostly using Alice right now, banking on the fact that we're going to get a 5-star soul for her and we can get Brimstone. But I actually think that, especially with the increasing HP and defense and that he does, because his damage is based on HP, that he actually might scale a little bit higher than her. Now, we'll find out, of course, right? Well, if we pull him. There's a big if there. I do know that he was a promo code champion. I just chose to go with the ally protection option. Anax, Poisoner, right? Weaken that we don't currently have. We have decreased defense. We don't have weaken. We also have an additional decreased defense in case one of them doesn't land or a different affinity happens. and that part of his kit. You can kind of increase defense. Like it's pretty interesting kit. Fanax is actually a really good PvP champion that I would be very excited to get. I don't know how strong he is this early game, if I'm honest. I just don't. But I am interested in using him and his kit. The decreased speed could also come in handy for other bosses too. So I just like him. I wouldn't be mad at Fanax. Magnar, I would be very, very happy with. We would have our second PvP champion in addition to Kale. We would also be bringing Burns. Well, let me read the Diva spread. How does he actually place a burn? Or no? So apparently he doesn't bring his own burns, which I wasn't aware of. I've never used Magnar. I've on all of my accounts, I've always pulled him very late. So I was actually very excited to potentially use him. So, we'll see. Malkith I like because we have a buff duration ally buff increase, right? So that ally protect that we're placing, we could then extend that. So it's a 2-turn ally protect. As long as I keep my speeds within certain ranges of each other, we can ensure that ally protection is always up. Now, of course, Taragi needs to be booked and Malkith needs to be booked for that to work, but that is a way to get a lot of extra turns out of a team with ally protect and a very tanky and hopefully a way to heal him Taragi. Melga is a very viable option. I actually do like her and her kit. We do have a lot of shielding, but I think her shields and heals are very good. I've actually used her at level 50 on my main account for a long time. And then a 2 ally revive. And then the A1 has like a little mini cleanse on it. Morag, we're working very hard right now to try and get Morag. So I love Morag. Love her kit. Strengthen on all allies. A little ally protect here. Counterattack. And I don't know and defense based too, which is great for a champion that for clan boss. This would be a very clan boss focused champion for me. We talked about Ornn already a little bit. Ruella, I think, is really good. We have a triple hitter on the A1 that increases her turn meter as well. Then we have an A2 that can do decreased defense, weaken, and decrease speed, and that's the big version of all of them, which is amazing. And then a turn meter fill. What was this? And it's stealing turn meter as well. So there's a potential, and that goes up to 100% when booked, of 15% turn meter stealing from her on the A1. So very, very good for Fire Knight, right? So I'm very excited about potentially Ruella. Vogoth, if you guys don't already know, Vogoth basically is a great healer for early game. I don't know that we necessarily need it that much with the current roster that we have. However, he is a good champion in varying areas of the game, and I would be very happy to have a Vogoth. And then Wirinon? Decrease attack on the A1, turn meter fill, and increase speed, which is better than just what Tagore brings, which is just increased speed. And then single target revive, and then speed in faction crypts. Great for faction wars. I feel like this would be very, very handy for me, especially if we can get Alice built up to do the kind of damage that we're looking to do in Arena. We could use her as our booster, essentially. So we would bring an ally attack champion, bring her as a turn meter booster and increase speed, build her fast, to try and get us to go first. So I would be happy with any one of these epics except for these two, essentially. And I know there's uses for them, probably faction wars based. I'm not looking just for strength in faction wars. Yes, faction wars is a priority for me. I am making that a bigger priority than I would in other free-to-play accounts that I've played. But these would have, I think, greater impact in far-reaching areas of the game, right? Outside of that. And of course, any single one of these legendaries, yes. 1000% yes. I'd say probably like the two that are probably lowest on the list would be Kyoku and Snick Track, but even then, like, they're still very high on the list, right? Ally Protector, which we just talked about, right? Decrease speed, decrease attack, healing, leech, love it. Kyoku is another ally protector, but with block damage on herself, which is really good in my opinion. And then a heal plus increased defense on all allies, a decreased attacks and burns, and a weaken. So yeah, like every single champion here. By the way, like I said, they're not like, I would not be mad if I got them, is what I'm saying. Like they're probably, like, I would prefer some of these others over those two, but it doesn't mean I don't want them. You know what I mean? So I hope that makes sense. Honestly, I actually kind of say the cat would probably be the lowest on the list. He seems fine. He would be, I think, a great PvP nuker. I just don't know that he makes the cut. I mean, I don't know enough about him. I've read his kit a few times. This video is getting a little long, so I don't want to keep reading through all of these kits here. But I do like his aura, but also like Cowblax's aura. Is his 20 or 19? Yeah. So, and then of course Padrig, Dungeons, and Duchess. Oh man, getting Duchess early game is just insanity. Would be so good. So yeah, very, very excited to compete in that. Now, there was some debate, or there is some debate, like, is it going to be worthwhile? In my experience, and they could have changed this, but in my experience on free-to-play accounts, this is usually pretty easy to get, right? Probably talking about maybe 1,000, 2,000 energy, but over the course of how many days, right? So, I don't think we're close enough. Yeah, we're 2 days away from a 500 energy boost. That will happen while Sand Double is still running. So that energy will go towards that Prism Shard, and we will pull that Prism Shard. Quick note for a lot of you guys, too. Normally this summon pool goes on until Friday when there's a champion chase. Now, I don't know if this was on purpose or it just happened to line up this way. This one does not line up with a champion chase event. So keep that in mind. You do not need to save your Prism Shards like you have had to do in the past. So if you're doing the free-to-play challenge, pull away. Go ahead and pull them before Friday, because it's going to get pulled for you on Thursday night, basically. So, or, well, depending on your time zone. But, yeah, just keep that in the back of your minds there, guys. Okay. What else did I want to talk about? So I will not 6-star anybody until I pull that shard, that Prism Shard. There's no point, in my opinion, because if I just happened to pull one of these legendaries, obviously we want that to be the next 6-star. So it doesn't make sense for me to 6-star Tagore tonight or tomorrow when we could pull somebody better later. And even if it's one of the epics, some of these epics, I would rather have a 6-star version of them than a 6-star version of Tagore. Magnar, Ornn, Ruella, definitely Morag, which Morag I would like to get, but we're also going to get her for free. From the Plarium Points program, right? We used that PP 500 code, which got us 500 Plarium Points. So we're at 1,117 points towards getting Morag. So we will get Morag in the coming days, and she will be a big boost to our account, of course. So getting 2 doesn't hurt, but we would mostly just use that as a faction guardian. I don't think I would empower her. I would do faction guardians first to get that HP. But I'll look into that. Truth be told, I will actually analyze that a little bit and see what the benefits are of empowering a champion, because it might be, for a short-term account, it might be more valuable if you don't have several of a faction. Again, I'm going to do an analysis on it when that happens. We don't need to do hypotheticals, but the way that I'm looking at it, it makes some sense that for such a short-term account of only 3 months, does HP across all dwarves when I only have 1 dwarf really matter? Or is getting all the stat boosts that you get from it matter more? So we'll have to have that conversation. Right? We'll have to have that internal check if we get 2 Morags. But we'll see, right? We'll see. So we'll be running that tournament a lot with passive energy, and also with maybe a little bit of gems, and of course extra energy that we get from playing the game for varying reasons and events. So yeah, I don't think I have any big boosts of energy outside of this 500 energy on day 13. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was your guys' opinion, because this was also brought up in clan chat, and I'm undecided right now about how I want to manage my resources for Tag Team Arena. You have 1,000 here to get 300 energy, but you also have 1,200 here to get an Ancient Shard. I'm very torn about what is more important for my account right now. Is the energy more important, or is the Ancient Shard more important? And I'm very close to the Ancient Shard. I'm leaning towards Ancient Shard. I feel like getting better champions is better. If this Ancient Shard is a rare, no. But if the Ancient Shard is an epic or a legendary, yes. So it's a bit of a gamble, right? I also do have some resources, and I need to use these. I'm thinking I need to probably be doing more Tag Team Arenas a day to capitalize on those resources down there a little bit more. But let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think I should get the Ancient Shard, or do you think I should get the 300 energy? And I want to make sure that yeah, it's 300 energy. I just will confirm it. Yeah, 300 energy for 1,000 gold bars, or should I get the Ancient Shard and see what that becomes, right? So, and of course I need to be using more of my tag team keys if I can. I feel like I have touched on... Oh, did want to mention this. The Dungeon Divers event we did, and we'll probably... I'm torn. So I need 100 more points in Dungeon Divers. I'm probably going to try and get 100 more points in Dungeon Divers and then use my remaining energy overnight on Minotaur. What is the mission after Minotaur? Arcane Keep. Yeah, there's not going to be an opportunity here to really get more gear, but I don't want to miss out on that Ancient Shard because there is power there, and it shouldn't cost me too much energy to get 100 more points. I'm probably about like 100 energy. So we'll probably, especially when it's speed anyways in Dragon, we'll probably come in here and do a couple Dragon runs until we can get enough points to get that Ancient Shard. And then the remainder of my energy tonight will be spent in Minotaur to complete this mission. Then we'll do Arcane Keep during the day tomorrow. And then everything else will get put into Sand Devil to try and complete that as fast as possible so we can pull that Prism Shard and determine who our next 6-star is. I will also hopefully have all of the food I need completed by then as well. Because even if we don't, I will then go hard on leveling food because this becomes the priority, and then we go do dragon, and then Magic Keep. When does Magic Keep open? Wednesday. Okay, so that all of this is kind of lining up, right? So that we will be able to, we hopefully will be on the Magic Keep mission on Tuesday reset, which would be Wednesday. So then we can do the Magic Keep and get the credit for that, and keep pace on the missions at the rate that we're going. So, and then after Magic Keep, so after Wednesday, then we have the Ascension, then Minotaur we're already able to do, and then we're doing Classic Arena for a long period of time. The good news is doing that Butch Minotaur should get me the 3 tier 4 masteries for 2 champions. Wait. 2 tier 4 masteries for 2 champions. Yeah, okay, yeah. So we'll definitely have the masteries one done. So we want to get through to back to the Spirit Keep. And that'll be a roadblock. No pun intended. This one's easy to do with enough silver. We did gain a lot of silver, but I had 5 million silver today. I'm down to 1.9 now. But we used it to complete one of these types of missions, which was equip 3 champions with 6 level 16 artifacts. We went ahead and did that. This one will be equip 4. We can knock that out pretty quickly. And then we got to wait till Force Keep. And we basically want to get to Void Keep. We want to try and progress through this as efficiently as possible to get to Void Keep on Sunday. I think Fire Knight Stage 10 might be a bit of a challenge for me. I don't know if I've currently cleared it. No, we have currently cleared it. I believe this is pretty slow, but yeah, I think we're on a really, really good pace right now for the missions, and I want to keep that up. We're almost got another 4-star chicken as well. We'll get that reset tomorrow. So things are going pretty well, considering that we really don't have any account changing champions in my opinion, right? We have all the same champions as everyone else, without extra, right? We've got a lot of people that have other legendaries, other better epics, and we're kind of just trudging along. Not necessarily, I'm not saying my epics are bad. I'm just saying that for our purposes, I don't know that we've really had anything to separate us from the pack. And that's what I want to be able to do. So hopefully we pull something good with the Sand Devil rewards. And we will be putting our time and effort into that. And going to go ahead and use those rewards as we can. We did also, like I said, we are 30 primal quartz away from a primal shard. Now this video is gone quite long, so I do apologize. I will spare you guys my longer spiel about subscribing, but please consider subscribing to the channel. It's the best way to support me. Thank you all so much for watching. I feel like there's so much more info I wanted to get to, but I don't want these videos to be too long. So hopefully you guys found the update that you are interested in. If not, let me know in the comments that I missed something, and I will put it in the next video tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Take care.